Hello and welcome back to the EDC Squirrel. Got a new knife from Remette today, and I'm super excited because this is a knife that I've been waiting for quite some time. Now, it's not exactly a new knife on the market. However, Remette has released a new colorway for this particular knife, and although I didn't get that particular colorway, I was just excited to know that they were running a sale, and I managed to get this at a pretty darn good price. The knife I'm talking about is the Remette Woodpecker. Now, I think the colorway that they just released was a pink crystallized titanium. I don't have that one. However, I do have what I think they call the blurple crystallized titanium, which is a combination of blue and purple. Now, like every other Remette I've gotten, it comes with a taco pouch as well as a microfiber cleaning cloth. We'll just leave these over here. And then here is the knife itself. Now, the first thing you'll notice is it's absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna keep saying blurple, blurple crystallized titanium scales. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, to get a lot of the specifics out of the way, the overall length on this knife is 6.97 inches. Blade length on this is 2.95 inches. And a closed length of 4.02 inches. Weight is around 4.8 ounces. Now, the blade material on this one is M390, and as stated on their website, it has a hardness of roughly around 60 to 61 HRC. It is a flat round blade, and it's polished to a pearlescent surface effect, or ground to a pearlescent surface effect. It is a reverse tanto style blade, and as stated before, the handle material is crystallized titanium or crystallized finish. Now, the pocket clip is done in a similar fashion, but unfortunately does not appear to be reversible. Now, this does have cage ceramic ball bearings, and it is also a nested liner lock, as we'll see in a little bit. Let's take a close look at that blade. Now, as you saw, it does have a thumb hole for deployment, as well as a front flipper. Now, the front flipper does stand off a little bit, so it does take some getting used to, but I am having an easier time with these front flippers in comparison. Wow, that was snappy, to some of the previous Remettes that I've had where it's really kind of far away from the scale. But it might be just me getting used to their style of front flipper now. Now, as you can see there, it is a nested liner lock. And with the cutout on the scales, it makes it very simple to use, even with a bandage on my thumb. So I don't have to dig my nail in there in order to actuate that lock. As we look at the blade while it's close, we can see that it is perfectly centered in there. Awesome QC on Remette's part. And the pocket clip, like many titanium style pocket clips, kind of like a pen type clips. Not exactly deep carry, so you will still see a good deal of the knife poking out of the pocket, but it's not bad, and it's nice and flat, which is something that I really like. Now, there is a lanyard hole here on roughly about a almost half back liner on the knife. Now, if you'll also notice, there is no screws or visible pivot point on the scales here, and we'll get back to that in a little bit. Let's just take a closer look at the blade again. Really easy to manipulate the blade. Very smooth blade movement. Real nice and quick to open up with either the thumb hole or the front flipper. Ow. Again, trying to get used to it, especially with this bandage. I did it fine before. It snapped open really loud. There we go. And also very sleek lines on this. I do like the reverse tanto shape. It's kind of like a sheep's foot or a modified sheep's foot. And the handle or scales on this are relatively neutral. No real finger grooves or anything like that. You got a bit of, I don't know if I'd even call that a choil because that goes straight into the handle. But I can choke up pretty decently on this blade. Got a fair amount of jimping on the spine here for extra grip, giving you real nice and precise control over the blade handling. And because of that relatively neutral blade or neutral handle, it's very easy and comfortable to hold in a variety of different ways. Now, while it doesn't have exactly rounded edges, the edges are done nice and smooth, so they don't feel sharp, they don't dig into your skin. The pocket clip lies nice and flat, and although I can just feel it behind my knuckles, I don't see that being an irritant whatsoever, even if I am doing a full gorilla grip on this one, which I can do. Again, different grip styles are easy to do on this knife, given the fact that it's a really neutral shape to the handle. And regardless of what it may look like, it's relatively ergonomic. Again, it does have some angles to the scales, but they're not sharp. They're nicely beveled, or I guess you could say the edges are softened. I'm sorry, the edges are softened just enough. So again, they don't feel sharp in the hand. They don't feel uncomfortable at all. Now, as we stated before, there's no visible screws or even pivot point on this knife. And the way that they do this, now if you look at the backliner, here, there's like a little jimping on this bit. And let's see if I can do this. Hold on just one moment. Sorry, my air conditioner kicked in. Okay, so let's see if I know how to do this. Now, if you press down where this jimping is, I believe these scales pop out. I'm not even sure how this works. Maybe I should close this before trying to do this with an open blade. There we go. Now, pressing down, I'm able to slide the scale upwards and remove the scale completely. And I believe I can do that with the other side. I'm going to just leave the other side on. I don't want to completely take this apart. But there you can see the inner workings of the knife itself. We do have a little bit of oil. You got access to your pivot. You got access to your screws. As you can see there, you even have access to the screw that holds the pocket clip in place. So you have all your access to the inner workings by pressing down on this button right here, the jimping on the liner, releasing that scale. And then it's just a matter of simply making sure you match up with the key or the keying. You can see the keyholes here and the little pins. So just need to match those up. Oops. Also make sure you have it the right way. And then sliding it down till it snaps back in. And then again, it's nice and secure. I don't feel any movement on the scale whatsoever once it's snapped back in place. It feels very secure, very solid in there. And the funny thing is, when I first saw this, I didn't question it at first until I got a better look at it and noticed I couldn't find any of the screws or the pivot. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out how the heck you would access any of that until somebody showed me that little button with the jimping in the back. Now, like the scales, let's take a look at the blade itself again. And let me grab a cloth here. The blade locks up really nicely. I'm not getting any movement on that blade whatsoever. Nothing left or right, up or down. That is a solid lockup. And I really love the sound of a good liner lock when it locks in place. I thought like that. That snap is very reassuring. And again, really good lockup in there. I love the access to that liner lock as well. Very simple to access, very smooth, like I've said before, with the cage ball bearings. Let's see how that blade cuts right out of the box. Now, I don't have my usual magazine paper because apparently I've kind of gone through all the magazines I had in the apartment. So we're going to go with regular printer paper, some lightweight printer paper. Nice and smooth cuts. Very crisp edges on that paper. I love sheep's foot or reverse tanto blades. They got a nice little belly to them, making them very slicey. This is a very slicey knife. And again, good clean edges on there. I wonder if I can bevel this. Almost. Oh yeah, I can bevel it pretty well there. Very good factory edge on this knife. Remette has been really impressive with their factory edges, their factory finishing. It's a really nice and sharp out of the box. I'm not seeing much residue on the edge, really whatsoever. This is probably one of the cleaner blades. Then again, I am using a different type of paper to cut through than my usual magazine paper. So very nice, clean, sharp edge out of the box. Let's give that a good wipe down. And let's clear this out of the way. But all in all, very impressive little knife. I've been wanting one of these for quite some time, ever since I first saw one available on the market. And at the time, it was just cost prohibitive for me. And luckily, I've been doing a little bit better, and managed to save up quite a bit of money and acquire one of these finally. And not to mention the fact that it helps that there was a good sale. Now, currently on Remette's website, these normally run for about $295. And they are currently running a sale for, let's see here, they are running at $250.90. Now, these do come in various different colors. Like I said, there was a pink crystallized titanium handle that was just recently released. Obviously, I have the blue or the blurple version here. This also comes in a green crystallized titanium, which is also very popular. And I'm also seeing two other models. Now, I don't know if these are new for this year or not, or they were released originally with the green and the blue, but they have a black and gold titanium scaled model, and that one's running $215. And then they have a gray and black titanium scaled model, also running at $215. However, according to the website here, or their website, they don't show those as being on sale like the others. The crystallized titanium being quite a bit more expensive than the other more, I guess you can call them non-crystallized or plain titanium models. So you're gonna find them at roughly between the $215 to almost $300 range. However, the finishing job on these knives, or at least the one that I've got, is absolutely fantastic. I fell in love with that crystallized titanium. It's not slick on the fingers. In fact, it has a very fine texture, at least in this portion here, and it feels very grippy for being pretty smooth. Like I see some micro milling on this like triangular portion right there, but otherwise the rest of it appears to be smooth, but it doesn't feel slick at all, which is really, really nice, meaning I can maintain a good grip on this without fear of it slipping out of my hand. But again, I love the blade shape. I love the look. It's a very beautiful knife. And also, one great thing about this one is a blade length that I can carry without much of a problem in my state, because my state does have blade restrictions. So having a blade length of under 3 inches is a definite. Oops, my band-aid's getting in the way. Having a blade length of under 3 inches is a definite plus. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful finishing job on this. And I am super happy to finally get this. Now, on the blade itself, we do have Remette etched at the top right under the jimping. And on the other side, we have M390, again in the same spot, just under the jimping there. So relatively clean blade. I love the angular design on this. The thumb hole is easy to access, easy to use either with your thumb, reverse flicking. The front flipper is probably one of the easier ones that I've had the pleasure of using from Remette. Either that, like I said before, maybe I'm just getting used to it. There we go. Maybe I'm just getting used to it now. But super clean and sleek looking knife. I could not be happier. I'm so happy to finally have one of these in my collection. But let me know what you think. Do you have the Remette Woodpecker? What color do you have? What do you think of it? How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for supporting me. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you liked what you saw, please drop a like down below. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And also, we'll be having another live coming up this weekend. So be sure to check that out as well. I'll make sure to put a reminder out so that way you guys are aware when the live is happening. But thanks again for all your support. Been really grateful, and I've been having a lot of fun doing these little videos and these little lives for you. I just hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. But thanks again for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.